Welcome to 60 Second Civics, the daily podcast of the Center for Civic Education. I'm Mark Gage. We're joined today by special guest Lisa Tetrault, Associate Professor of History at Carnegie Mellon University. Dr. Tetrault, it's been nearly a century since the Equal Rights Amendment was first proposed. What is the ERA, and how would ratification of this amendment to the Constitution change American life?
The ERA is fascinating. It's the Equal Rights Amendment, and it's an amendment to the Constitution of the United States. It was proposed much earlier than many people think. It was proposed in 1923 in the aftermath of the victory of the 19th Amendment, the so-called Women's Suffrage Amendment. That amendment had said no discrimination in voting on the basis of sex. And so a variety of women thought, let's continue with this constitutional revolution and say no discrimination in anything on the basis of sex. And it's gone through various wordings over the time, but the idea is essentially that it would make sex discrimination an unconstitutional act. It has been introduced in Congress every year for a long time, beginning in 1923. It was proposed by Crystal Eastman and Alice Paul, a former suffragist, and it finally passed Congress in 1972. It then went to the states for ratification, fell short, got an extension, and then there started to be a very active anti-ERA campaign led by someone named Phyllis Schlafly. And then the entire thing fell apart and was never passed or never amended. It was never ratified and added to the Constitution by the states. There is now an effort underway to do that. Whether or not it will succeed remains to be seen. And what an ERA would do is going to be up largely to the ingenuity of the people and the interpretations of the court.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, Dr. Tetrault. That's all for today's podcast, 60 Second Civics, where civic education only takes a minute.